saying welcome to the second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Level 2 Podcast, episode 13. That's 1-3. Fun fact, Tom. By the way, my name's Keegan. That's Tom,
Hi.
in case you don't know us. Fun fact, Tom, we're recording this right after episode 12. I think it's the first time we've ever recorded a podcast back-to-back.
We are. That's why we're wearing the same clothes, in case you were wondering from watching the vidcast. There's a reason why we're doing this, and it's mostly my fault.
It's all your fault, actually.
It is definitely
100% your
So
fault.
I'll explain it.
We're still sick.
I'll take the bullet. Yeah, we're still sick, so sorry. Sicky podcasts for a little while until, I guess...
Hopefully next week.
summer.
Well, 2 weeks.
I don't know. I mean, winter, I just feel like winter's kicked me in the balls this year. Like,
Yeah.
I have not been able to get over some kind of illness.
I was going to make a disturbed joke, but I made that last podcast, so I can't do it
you
again.
can't do that twice.
Anyways, why are we doing this?
So we're doing this because
Your butt
for
face.
those of you, let's pull back the curtain. For those of you,
We have a full-time job.
we have a full-time job, and we record mostly every Tuesday.
Yes.
We try to record
Everything.
lumps of shows together. So we'll come into my basement and then we'll go, okay, we've got like one more Should I Buy bite going up. We need to record a slew of those, which is why sometimes if we have a guest in, you might hear them on multiple episodes.
Because they're here because it's weird to tell them to
Because
leave.
they're here for the entire time and we're playing games for the entire time. For example, after our second podcast of the day today, we will be going into recording some VR because we're lacking on those, and then we're going to get to start our Let's Play. So basically, we are on an airtight schedule. Usually, we have enough left over everything else that the only thing we ever have to get done in a week is the podcast.
Yeah.
We usually have enough. But today is a bit different because we're starting the Let's Play in place of the review.
Also, I think it's because we've the last 2 weeks it's been just us, but we've had a bunch of guests before then. We can't nearly record. So when we have a guest on, we feel weird recording like 5 bites with them,
Right.
Because then they'd be on for the channel for a month and a half, versus recording one bite, one VR that makes more sense than having them on for a whole
So
thing.
when we have guests, we tend to do less recording. But
because we got to switch our sets up.
It
Sets
spreads
up
out
around setups
nice. You're going to get to see Jordan do VR. You've already seen that, and you're going to get
got
to see
Dave.
Dave do some other stuff. And so it's nice to spread that out a little bit. But normally, yes, we do big sort of chunks. And I am doing something work related next Tuesday. And
He's working the street corner.
Yes, I am a lady of the night, and
Lady in red.
as such a lady, I will not be able to record next Tuesday. So we've got a doubler day where we're going to double down and do 2 podcasts back to back, and just so we have something for you each week. Because we like you guys.
And again, let's try that again. English. We like doing these. This is probably my favorite thing because we can conversate. I was going to say that. It's not a word. Converse. We're going to converse with each other. Converse with you. It's one of my favorite things because it's probably the most laid back thing we do.
It's definitely the less pressurized part of what we do.
Because we just talk, and I can talk for fucking hours.
When we're doing VR, we have to focus on things like, is the green screen look good? Are the reactions good? When we're doing bites, we have to focus on,
the
just
game.
progressing for the most part, just getting as far as we can. The Let's Play is probably going to be the second most relaxed, I would say, on our channel.
Those of you who follow us for a little while, our Let's Plays back in the day, we used to do like topics. Remember when we did I wrote down we had
we used to do
10
quizzes.
facts on games and stuff like that.
That's still fun. Still fun to do.
We might do those, but it's more just shooting the shit, hanging out on the couch with us as it used to be.
Let's Play is definitely more just like this is what it would be like to be sat in a room playing a game with me and Keegan.
And just the joy of game. I think a lot of it comes down to this joy of gaming because I think we all enjoy games. You guys, assuming since you watch us, you somewhat enjoy games. Why the hell would you be watching us otherwise?
The other thing about Let's Plays though, the tiny amount of pressure that does come into it is that we have to finish them.
Yeah, I don't finish very well, if you know what I'm saying. Hey-o.
I believe you. So, so there is that's the only pressure we have.
And
with Let's Plays is if we're like dying over and over and over again, you are watching us die over and over and over again. Some say that adds to it, some say it takes away. I don't know.
Or we just cut it out.
You decide.
What was that one? There's one episode where we're just like, we just spent 20 minutes dying. And wait. I think it was the lad where our last episode was like 4 minutes. We're like, oh, I guess we're done now.
Yeah,
There's
we
something.
just cheated, didn't we? It's the end of that. We're not opposed to cheating a bit.
Yeah.
But so because of that, because of next week, excuse me,
Tom's
still
dying
sick,
still.
remember?
That's your reminder. He's still sick.
because I'm going to be unavailable and doing my job, I
will probably
not be able to
laying in
record.
bed or edit it. I might stream instead, honestly.
You can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't hear this by the time because it goes up the week after.
Yeah.
But
You could stream.
right? No, this will go up the day before. I'm trying to do math in my head.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's next week because the podcast we just recorded will go up.
Yeah, this will
I
go
can't
up
math.
The same week.
Week is the one we just recorded
Yeah.
before this.
I don't fucking.
We don't know.
Yeah.
There's podcasts going up. You'll have a podcast. You'll be good, but I will stream at some
Yeah.
point. Follow us on Twitter, Level 2 Gamers STL. That's how you know when I go live. That's honestly the best way to find out. Or subscribe to us on YouTube. One of the things that we don't ever mention is on YouTube, and I'm sure you've seen bigger YouTubers mention this, but I feel weird doing it, is on YouTube, there's a little bell if you go to our channel. If you click that bell, you will get notified every time we upload a video.
that right?
YouTube, by default, does not do that to you.
I didn't know that.
So you gotta go and you gotta say, yes, I want to get notified. So if you do want to see our videos, if you want to hear from us, go ahead and hit that little bell. I'm sure, again, lots of big YouTubers, like, it's right here. But if you go on our channel, go to level2gamers.com. On the right-hand side, below our header and above our friends, you will see a little bell. Click on that, and you'll get notified when we upload a video at 11:30 a.m.
got some
Central
weird
Standard
yoga
Time.
thing
What are you?
going on here. I'm
It's
trying
like,
to
what are
get
you doing
comfortable.
over there? Those of you who are listening, Tom,
before we get into like bonus levels and things like that,
Bo-
obviously we can't really do like a what have you been doing because we were doing the same thing we were the last.
you know what
episode.
we're doing? We're recording a podcast.
Yep, we are. And what did you do an hour ago? But what I thought we could do is maybe talk a little bit about some of the potential changes we have in mind, because that leads into the bonus level a little bit.
I suppose we got to talk about this.
Well, we said we would be, open and honest on the podcast, so I suppose because we talked about.
I lie all the time. I don't know if you know this. I lie to you to make you feel like you're doing something.
Well, it is what it is.
He's like, I know.
We had the podcast a couple of weeks ago, you will remember, where we
At the very end of it,
talked at the end of it, because
we forgot, or I forgot.
you forgot.
You didn't, I did.
We were gonna drop our reviews and start doing Let's Plays instead, which is what
Which has already started last week.
Recording that today, but this would have been 2 weeks ago by the time you listen to it. Anyway,
Math.
aside, and it's a little bittersweet for me because I like doing those. They are very, very hard to do.
We had another one blocked this morning.
We did. I started doing some game ones that did surprisingly better, I think. Or we got some nice comments on those. But the movie ones and the video ones and things like that, they're just. So here's the thing. I did a review of the TV show Chance, which is what we talked about a couple weeks ago on the podcast.
You
that I
talked about it.
watched.
I just listened to you.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie's show. Hulu,
Oh yeah,
go
the
to watch it,
101 Dalmatians.
Yeah,
that's
that'll
how
be the
association.
Yeah. So we talked about that show, and I had a couple episodes that I sort of pieced together and made a review so that you guys could see the show, because I thought, we talked about it. It'd be fun to show it off a little bit.
That's called connecting your content together.
That's correct. And
don't do that very well sometimes.
I did it, and I did it because I was bored mostly, because I had a feeling we'd already decided at this point that we weren't going to do any more reviews. The last one was up, but I did it, and I decided, I had an hour to kill, so I put it together. I was pretty chuffed with it. I thought it came out pretty well. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it before I deleted it this morning, but
Oh, did you delete it? I didn't.
Yeah, you can watch it later.
Because somebody was like, they're like, why?
what
'Cause
I was thinking was we might be able to put it on VidMe or something.
yeah, we can put other places.
We'll
We'll put it on YouPorn. I heard YouPorn gets a lot of hits.
Maybe. There you go.
Pornhub is another good one. That's where Overwatch leaked something.
Really?
Yeah, there's the
Fallout was leaked.
Yeah,
on the
some
porn site.
trailer
Yeah, Fallout was on
some
the
trailer
porn
leak
site.
there. So if you want to get good hits, we're on the
Go to
wrong.
porn.
We're on the go
We're
porn.
definitely on the wrong network. But the
That would be so weird.
yeah.
Like, go to us, follow us on Pornhub.
But yeah, we put this video up, and I put it up as a test. And I put it up, and in my head, I'm going, I spent a lot of time putting this together. I bet you it gets blocked.
By
And
Fox.
I put it up, and within
Last-
literally seconds.
Yep. Last night I texted you like, by the way, I got this email.
Yeah, so Fox said nope, and again they didn't do the whole "we'll take the money."
Yeah, that I don't mind.
No one
Like,
fucking
claims-
watched it. No one
Yeah.
went in and said, "Oh, actually, you're saying that everyone should watch this show, so
Yeah.
maybe it would be a good thing to leave it in existence."
Yep.
No, they just blocked it, and you guys won't get to see it unless we put it on VidMe, which we probably will now because I decided.
It's been determined. Follow us at VidMe. Link will be somewhere.
Yeah, I don't even know how to get into
probably.
our VidMe channel.
I have a
I'll
feeling
just
there's
leave the files with you.
There's
You
probably
can deal with
there's
it.
probably a link down on the crotch bar, as it used to be called.
The crotch bar.
Yeah, because it's down in your crotch.
Crotch.
Because when you're sitting straight forward and it's like a chest shot, it's your crotch shot.
Yeah. So follow
Pornhub.
follow the nut bar, and that's not bad. Nut bar, I like that. And maybe there's a VidMe link there for you. Maybe there's not. Who knows?
Who knows? So it depends on how good we are.
So anyway,
You went real British.
should watch-
Anyway,
yeah, I know it happens. So watch Chance if you get Chance, and
What's it,
sorry
Netflix?
that doesn't exist. It's on Hulu.
Hulu. I was like, I
Hulu
knew it was
exclusive, apparently owned by fucking Fox though,
Yep.
because those are the bastards that got
blocked
us.
it.
So yeah, I think that was like the final nail in the coffin. That was us just basically saying this is not worth the fucking effort, because those videos take me anywhere from 1 to 3 hours to edit because of how difficult they are. If I cannot be guaranteed that those videos are going to make up, and we were even getting copyright ones on the games just because of the way they were presented, which blew my mind, because I thought, how is it that we've never had one for any bite or anything like that, but as soon as we put it up as a review,
As soon as you put the word review in it,
oh my god, it's unbelievable.
Like, fuck that.
So yeah, bye reviews. You might get the occasional game review, indie review, something like that, as a freebie, as a toss up out of nowhere.
maybe if you support us on Patreon, who knows?
Yeah.
That could be a thing we do. We're literally shooting the shit right now.
Yeah.
So we'd make decisions. Patreon.com/Love2GamersSTL. I just hoarded out to you. How do you feel? Do you feel dirty? Because I just did you.
He just verbally did you.
I just verbally did you.
Have a choice.
Yeah.
That's just
Before we jump into the bonus level, because we will at some point, I do want to do one thing. I was going to make a video on this, but I feel like by the time I get the video up, it's going to be fucking next year.
Sure.
I do want to give some shout outs to some YouTube friends.
Oh yeah. Good.
One of them has been on our podcast. You know him very well. He is known as the...
Macaroni and Dave.
I mean, yes, but...
And the other one.
And the other one. Macaroni and Dave, he's on a little friends list. And he had Cody there. Cody's who I was talking about, Dream Saga.
Yeah, I figured you might have been
yeah.
after I realized that Macaroni.
Yeah.
We've had two people,
Yes.
two of our friends that have YouTube sites. However, only one of them actually releases content.
Yes.
And that is our friend Cody from
The
the
Dream Saga. So he uploads, he's doing Candy
lot.
Tuesdays, vlogs,
Yeah,
and then
all kinds of
unboxings.
stuff.
He just unboxed AirPods not too long ago, so that was cool. Yeah. I watched a video. He had to put his finger over the serial number.
Oh.
He's like, I don't want to show that to you. I'm going to block this with my finger. So check him out.
You know what the most fun part of the Dream Saga is his missus. His missus is great, Casey, if you don't know her. She recently got like a haul of little toys from eBay, and then she's doing unboxing on these toys, and she's so adorable. I like her a lot. So I think
I saw the one where she changed her hair color. I watched that one.
Yeah, she did her hair. And then
like, I don't...
The vlogs are great because they work so well together.
Yeah.
They're all so friendly.
I feel
and
bad
nice.
because I'm going to be completely honest. I don't watch all the vlogs just because...
I don't have time to watch all of them, but I do catch them when I
I
can.
do try to watch his unboxings. By the way, if you check him out, Cody actually has asked me personally for any feedback. I've given him a little thing of it. Any YouTuber wants feedback.
And
and
he's
this one
always
kinda
very
lead in.
kind with feedback to us as
Yes.
well, all the time.
I don't always take it the best way because I don't do feedback very well when I'm a creative person. Like this is me saying I know I have this issue, but when it's your baby, when you're the one helping create it, it's really hard for somebody to tell you something.
Luckily, there's two of us,
Yes.
so one of us takes feedback well. The other just ignore Keegan. And
I mean,
tell me.
I take feedback well as long as it's presented correctly. And I'm not saying he doesn't present it correctly because he does, but it's just one of those things where like when it's your child, it's just like, oh, that hurts, but I think you're right.
That's how you get better.
So Cody from the Dream Saga.
Cody from the Dream Saga. And what's their link? Do we know it?
I don't know. He'll be if you go.
So, there can't be that many Dream Sagas out there. Just Google the Dream Saga.
It'll
You'll
come
get all
up
kinds
or
of
YouTube
stuff.
the Dream Saga.
Yeah.
Also, he'll be in our little friends things. I got to update that.
Follow that.
The other person is Blue Moon Gaming or Gaming Blue Moon. I don't know if he's Blue Moon Gamer or Gaming Blue Moon. He's changed his name like 3 or 4 times.
I don't know.
It's Blue Moon.
Love him.
He's one of our mods. He helped moderate the 24-hour live stream. He's gotten back into it. He got a PS4, so he's playing with us a lot recently. We played some Overwatch last night together with David and Cody. Speaking of the three, actually. All three of us played together. That was fun. So check him out. He does a lot more streams now. He doesn't do videos, so he'll be streaming a lot more. Yeah, he's
Blue
good.
is such a nice guy. I won't say his real name because I don't know if he wants me to or not, but it rhymes with Blue. And
I just call him, I forget he has a real name.
Yeah,
I just call him Blue.
But he's such a nice guy. He was one of the first people to jump on board with us. And
I met him. Did I ever tell you my story how I met him?
He introduce you to a Facebook group or something?
Yeah, so I was in a Facebook group called YouTube Gamers, which went down the toilet very quickly because the owner of the group allowed spam, and there's a bunch of mods that are trying to fix it. So those mods said, fuck you, we're going to go make our own group, and Blue was like, hey, come over here. The same people just run better. And that's I mean, I met him in that group, but that we didn't really start talking until that moment.
Gotcha.
He's like, because it was funny because I remember because we had Dying Light go up. This is how early on it was. Dying Light had gone up, and he liked our stuff. And like, it was after we posted the picture on Instagram, and we went from like 30 subscribers to 80 for some reason because we posted a damn picture. We're like, damn, we need to just post pictures. He liked our content, and he's like, hey, you guys have got something going on. Which is kind of weird. It's weird because we got away from the Let's Plays, and I think we did it really, especially the first few. I think Stranded Deep went really, really well. I also think that game was perfect for it, but we never finished it.
No,
because we have episodes.
Is that a game you can finish?
Yeah, but we have. So fun fact, we have like 7 episodes. I'm sure somewhere. I don't know, probably on my hard drive that have never been uploaded
Whale.
Yeah, the whale, the raft. Like we ended up making a raft.
We finished the raft. We found a whale.
Yeah,
that popped in.
Yeah,
nowhere. That was great.
Yeah, they never saw that.
Well,
maybe at some point I'll try and find those. But he was under 100. Like he was one of the people that were here at the beginning. Obviously, the initial boost is friends and family. So like Roxy, Charming Cuisine. She has a YouTube channel. I assume it's on her Charming Cuisine.
Instagram is probably a more prolific place to get her content because she does post a lot to that.
So she's a cool one. We want to have her on the podcast at some point. I have a list of people I want to join us. She's one of them.
So for those of you that don't know, Roxy is a friend of ours who makes basically food, like miniature food based
or
jewelry
or nerdy
things. But it started off as food, hence the name of the company is Charming Cuisine. You can look them up, but like we're talking like cherry pie like earrings and stuff like that. So it's and the model work that goes into
I'm always amazed.
Unbelievably accurate.
But it's weird looking at, no offense to Roxy, but looking at her, you wouldn't know that she's this amazing sculptor. Like looking at us, you would know
she's very unassuming.
Yeah, she's like. Yeah. She also doesn't talk about it. I mean, she talks about it.
She has a master talent for an unassuming lady.
Yes.
But yeah, so go and support her by all means. Charming Cuisine. Go and check them out. Google it. And I guarantee you'll be impressed with the shit that's on there. There's no one that's not impressed with that when you see it. I'd like to give one.
Cool. I'll let you take some limelight here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm.
Is it Mr.
T. Grotto?
Tigrado.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't fucking
He always
know.
yells at me for doing it wrong.
I don't know. We played. I played. Little fun fact. This was a couple weeks ago. By the time you guys see this, but last night me and David were streaming. Finished Survival. We were playing a little bit offline, and I saw James was streaming, and he was doing a daily on Division. And I go to David. I was like, we should just fuck with him and just like join his game, help him finish this daily, and leave. So we did, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Because he told me after, he's like, I didn't know where the hell those bullets were coming from. I was like, yep. You're welcome.
Tigrado is, again, kind of the same. To me, I see him similarly to Blue, and I see it as kind of like, guys that were there from the start that have always been our cheerleaders. They've always been supportive. They've joined us on streams.
Ooh la la.
And he's just a super nice guy. There's just no way around it. He's Canadian, so we can't help it in a way. But in another way, he's genuinely a nice fellow. And you guys have met in real life, which I have not. I'm yet.
There's an interview with him on our channel.
There is.
Fun fact: the interview has nothing to do with what he does now because he mainly streams. He had no idea what he's going to do when he interviewed him. I just thought it'd be fun.
It was just for fun. Yeah. But so if you really feel like digging in the vaults, you can check back and see
from Indie Popcorn
Tigrado interview from Indie Popcorn with Keegan.
Yeah.
Tigrado always had our back. Always been an awesome dude. He mostly focuses on streams and racing games in particular.
Been a lot of Division recently. A lot of Overwatch. Don't Starve.
Joins us a lot on streams, so you may already be familiar with his jovial self. But yeah, Tigrado Power is the lookup for that if you want to go and check out that guy because he's an awesome guy.
I'm gonna go through a couple quick ones because I feel like otherwise I'm gonna spend an hour on this.
I'll sit back for a while.
So Tubin Monkey, I actually have his shirt. I don't have it on now, but I actually own his shirt. Seth is his real name. But yeah, Tubin Monkey, he's on Twitch primarily now. He does YouTube a little bit, but primarily Twitch. He's one of those people that kind of went to streaming, and go check him out. Twitch.tv/ I think it's either the Tubin Monkey or Tubin Monkey. I'm sure there's not too many Tubin Monkeys on Twitch.
And that's Tubin.
Yes, Tubin. So check him out.
Like totally tubular.
Yeah, he does a lot of Xbox, Battlefield 1. We're hopefully going to play Gears of War together at some point. That's one of our plans.
I think you're going to be scared of Gears of War.
Probably.
I'm excited about it.
I haven't played any of them. I want to play them all in order.
They're not scary per se, but there is like monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like The Division with monsters.
Yeah. I like The Division. Another one, and I love this woman to death because she has dealt with more shit for me than I think anybody else besides you.
Your mom?
No. Well, yeah. but not her. Geek Etiquette, Amy. She's been one of those people. I met her a little over a year ago now, I guess. It's amazing how much has changed in a year. She's now engaged. She's probably moving to the States. Like, it's awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. She got engaged at Dragon Con.
Because she's
English.
For those of you that don't know.
She's
That's
over in
why
England.
I like her.
Because she's English. She's one of us.
She supports my queen.
But she does a lot of, similar to a lot of people on this list, does a lot of streams. She wants to do more Let's Plays, but obviously trying to figure out how to move to the States is taking up a lot of time, so she can't. And she's also was in the States for 3 months earlier with her now fiance, hanging out. So she didn't have the proper setup to record, but she did stream. So you should go check her out. Geek Etiquette. I can't fucking spell that, but if you Google geek and etiquette,
put the word geek next to the word etiquette, it's something like that.
Yeah, so she has a purple heart. She
has pink hair, doesn't she?
She used to. I don't know if she still does.
She has colored hair.
Yeah.
So, did you see a lady with colored hair called Geek Etiquette?
So the little heart she uses on her videos that pumps, I made that for her.
Did you?
Back in the day. Yeah. We were on Skype together, and this was months ago.
This is when you used to have your weird, like, half naked late night game.
No,
sessions.
this was just me and her talking.
Okay.
But we were on Skype late at night one night, and she's like, "I want something." I was like, "Do you want me to make?" Like I'd motion open. I was working on something for us. I was like, "Let me make something real quick for you," because she's like, because she does a lot of older games, so they have the bars on the side, and she wanted something to put there. And I was like, "What's your font?" She's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Well, tell me one, and I'll use it." And then I made the little heart, and then we made it beat, and she now uses that for pretty much everything. So it's kind of cool.
It's adorable.
So her, the other one. Well, there's a couple more. God, there's so many people. Shadazzle Show. Scott. I said this before on another podcast. He was the only official like collaboration we had on on our channel. Love him. He's in a bit of a rut right now personally, so he's not been uploading nearly as much. So give him some love on both Twitter and YouTube.
SHIDAZZLE.
Yep, show.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Shadazzle Show, not Shidazzle. I always spell shi. It's
I'm
sha.
spelling the names because, as you know, YouTubers have the most ridiculous names.
Yes.
And they usually spell completely opposite of what you say they are.
Yep.
Except for us. Ours is boring. Level 2 gaming. Can't get that wrong, really.
Well, level 2 gamers.
But then there's a number order you write the word to.
That's why I cover it with tags.
That's the dilemma.
Which we'll talk about here. And then Jeff Noxus, Jamie, she's been around. My Netherlands
I like
friend.
her a lot.
She's very blunt.
She's
awesome. Very awesome.
I love her. She got a set of nuts on her. I'm telling you, she's so awesome.
Yeah,
I like her a lot.
So go check her out. JF Noxus. She what was it? I did a shout out like back in the day. I said her name wrong like in the video a long time ago, and she's never let me live that down.
No, you can't remember it. Or did you get it right?
No, it's JF Noxus.
JF Noxus.
Yeah,
How do you spell it?
JF KN.
As in the letters J and
yeah,
F. Okay.
JF KNOXUS, I believe. Noxus.
All right.
Sounds about right. And then the last one.
She's the one that has this sock thing in it, or a puppet.
Yeah, Sock Buddy.
Yeah, Sock Buddy.
That's his name. It's a Yeti mic with a sock over with an angry face on it.
There you go.
It fits her personality perfectly. It's very, very much her channel.
She's a doll. We like her.
She's been streaming a lot more. She currently is streaming, or she streamed the other day, Chroma Gun, I think is the name of the game.
I don't know what that is.
Where it's like Portal with colors.
Yeah.
So getting back to the podcast we had last week, colorblind mode, that would have been a perfect one. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you had to mix colors together, and I was like, those look the damn same. And then the last person.
I'd love to see what happened if you were left to your own devices to paint your house when you grow up.
I mean, it will be at some point.
Like I would say, when you grow up.
Yeah. All grown up. And then last one, and then we'll get into the actual bonus level.
I'll think if I can think of any, because I can't, but go ahead.
Cat does things. I'm sure I'm also missing some other people, but Cat does things.
She's an Aussie.
She's an Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. She probably is going to hate me for doing that, but she streams a lot on Twitch. She does do YouTube. I was very excited the other day because it's been a while since she uploaded a YouTube video. She's got a really good voice. Like, she can sing. And she uploaded If You Could Only See by Tonic, I believe is the band, right? If you could only see the way
that sounds like something
he
you would
loves
listen to
me.
and I would hate.
It's from the 90s.
Gotcha.
She uploaded that, and it was actually really good. So hopefully that means she'll do more music. She used to do Music Mondays all the time. It's just so hard to do them.
And I will say, on behalf of the English people, I apologize to Kat for her ancestry being criminals that we dumped off on an island somewhere with some rats. But I'm sure that, you wouldn't be the lovely person that you are without us doing that. So
you're welcome.
In a way, you're welcome.
So go check her out. Kat does things on both Twitch and
Lovely
YouTube
lady.
and Twitter and I'm sure Instagram. I don't follow her on Instagram. So that's the list of like. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of people.
Oh, there's tons more. We'll get to them later. We didn't want to take up the whole podcast.
No,
just shouting out people. But there's definitely some people that deserve to get some recognition.
Because that kind of leads in. Do you have anything? Because otherwise, I'm going to do a transition here.
You can lead in. I was trying to think of something I can't now.
So that kind of leads into what we are going to talk about, and it's the small YouTuber struggle. And I think a lot of the times, and I don't necessarily say it's a struggle. It's just being a small YouTuber is hard. So I guess that is kind of a struggle. But there's also good things about it.
The definition of struggle, yes.
Yeah. But there's so many YouTubers out there that you got to find the good ones. So like when we shout somebody out and when we talk about somebody, it's not because I'm friends with them, which is fine. Like, yeah, I can be friends with you. It's also got to be because you do good content. I'm not going to shout you out just because we're friends. You need to give me some reason to. And some people might think I'm an asshole for doing that, but it's the truth. Like,
it is absolutely, by the way, and I can attest to this. That is true. Keegan has had opportunities to shout people out and has not done it until
they've proven to me.
He has gotten to a point where I know, it is what it is. But until you've been to a point where you're like, you know what? Yes, your content is good enough now that I feel completely comfortable saying everyone should go watch this.
And for me, that's consistency and that's quality.
Yeah,
that's all I need. If you can prove to me you can do both, we're cool.
And it's not like, again, we would never be down on people for not having like the best equipment or the best microphones or anything like that. Because I mean, when I say quality,
I don't want you to just yell at me the whole damn time with peaking microphones. Because
I remember to shout out. Shout out the Elite Gamer.
No, he's not the Elite Gamer anymore. He's the Angry Badger.
The Angry Badger, dude. You probably don't fucking listen to this, but if anyone knows the Elite Gamer / the Angry Badger,
he was something else too.
That guy, I swear to God, man, I don't know if he is intentionally just kind of such a joyous human being to be around, but every time he uploads something, Keegan shares it with me, and I watch it.
And I always go, "Your buddy's at it again."
Massive smile on my face, regardless. I love that kid so much, and I'm like, I know it sounds like I'm being a dick about it. I'm honestly not. Like, I honestly, truly love that kid, and I will watch anything
because he enjoys what he's doing.
Fucking loves it, doesn't he? Yeah, just walk around the shops and talk about, I'm going to get this, it's going to be great, you're going to fucking love it. And then that's it. That's the whole video. I love it. Brilliant. Love it.
You should do that.
Elite
love it on the streets.
/ Angry Badger
/ other...
I swear to God, we don't know him, and he didn't. And I posted something on one of his videos once and told him he was awesome, and he said thank you. And I don't know if he subscribed to us or not. I have no idea. But I was genuine with it. I swear to God, go watch that guy. Sorry, you just reminded me when we talked about people that yell a lot.
Yeah. He doesn't. I mean,
he doesn't yell a lot, but he's an interesting guy.
Yes, he's
not afraid to just go off on a tangent and talk to his family in the middle of a video. It's great.
Hey, Dad, what am I doing? I don't know.
It's great. Fucking brilliant.
But getting back to YouTube, being a small YouTuber, there's a few hurdles you have to overcome, and for us, I think we got lucky in some things.
Yeah.
We were unlucky in some other things.
Yeah.
Where we were lucky, and I'm going to start off with this, is the equipment.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go into it because it's a long conversation, but I used to do YouTube back in the day, did a lot of audio video stuff back in the day, had a lot of this equipment. I have probably, if you count the dollar amount of equipment in your basement right now, it's probably tens of thousands, including consoles and all that kind of stuff. Tens of thousands.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Don't tell anyone where I live.
I won't. I refuse to. But no, it's
just like there's literally so much money here, guys, at this house, this basement. You guys should totally come.
His address is 123 Fake Street, Wyoming, Nebraska.
Jesus Christ,
that's 2 states.
But we do have a lot of
we got lucky.
Equipment. We got lucky because you did this previously. You've done it several times.
But I also invested back into stuff. So like
right. So you used to have like a business account that you would only spend money on equipment to do more of
which
this
I
type
blew
of
all
thing.
that money. But I mean, here's a prime example: is we bought these microphones. We had the old microphones; they worked fine.
Yeah.
I like these ones because they sound a little bit better. They're true condenser mics, so they, in my opinion, sound better.
You can pick up all the gravelly, nasally horribleness of our voices right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The green screen, I got that for Christmas a few years ago. Same with the lights. So some of the stuff my parents bought for me, some of the stuff I bought. This camera we're recording with right now,
that's old school, has
been in my possession since 2006 or 7. Can't remember.
It's a pretty common sort of point and shoot camera.
Yeah. The other one we used to use, the T3i, the DSLR. The problem we don't use it for here is because record time. It looks a lot nicer, but record time is that, no joke, that camera, that DSLR has been over to over probably 7,500 to 10,000 shows. When I say shows, I mean concerts, because that's what I used to do.
Which is weird because you can only record 12 minutes at a time.
Yeah, but if you're doing a highlight reel or something like that,
Yeah.
and you have multiple cameras, you just mash them all together. It's great. When you have 16 cameras shooting the same thing, don't worry.
We bought
As
the
long as you
mixer
don't.
after as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we bought the mixer,
something we
cables. I was lucky enough because my dad helped to provide those. Like, we are very, very lucky with the equipment we have, and we understand not everybody can do it. But there also is ways to make your equipment look better on a cheap budget. So back in the day,
Absolutely.
I used to put a piece of wax paper over a desk lamp because that would diffuse the light. So the lights we're using right now, a little fun fact, we never turn the headlight on, or the overhead headlight, whatever it's called, because it's yellow.
It does look like a nipple.
It does.
Or a boob in general. I'll take a picture of that for
Yeah.
Instagram.
But we use these have diffusers on them, and you want a diffuser when you're shooting because it makes you a little bit more natural, makes it not quite as harsh, that kind of stuff. So that is a pro tip, I guess, if you don't have the money to buy a lighting kit, which lighting kits are about 100 to 150 if you get a whole kit plus the green screen.
So you know as well that I used to do music, and
music.
I had to try and do it on a shoestring
Mm-hmm.
budget. And one of my tricks was, so right now, for those of you that are watching the video version of this, you can see that Keegan uses a pop filter, which is a professional pop filter. Well,
It still pops.
professional-ish. Kill me.
I think I know
pop
what you're going to
filter.
talk about.
Yeah, and
Pantyhose?
what I used to do was I would get a wire coat hanger and a pair of my mum's tights, and I would hold
Yep.
the coat hanger in front of my face while I was rapping, and
works.
that was my pop filter. Oh, it was brilliant. And there's not, I mean,
And there's-
essentially that is a pair
yeah.
of tights in a circle.
Yep.
And I mean, it's nicer when it has a bendy bar and everything. But if you're doing just a quick recording session, you can hold it. I mean, an hour long, it would be shitty if we were both
Yeah.
stood here holding a pair of tights, especially your mum's tights. And then you sat here and trust
I
me,
think
it was
that's what makes it weird.
It was weird, but people didn't know that until just now. So basically that was my my pop filter, and there is like hacks, I guess.
Yes, you can look them up
make
online.
the most out of what you do have, but as you get further down the line,
want to upgrade
you can
equipment, you want
invest
to
your
sound
own
better.
money. You can invest, money given to you by your
For us, Patreon's kind of been helping us
Patreons.
now. So before we started Patreon, which Patreon started very, very recently,
yes,
we would invest our own money, and
Let's keep talking.
we still invest our own money into this all the time. And I mean, it's because we want to give you the best production quality we can. It's just what it comes down to is I'm very much a stickler for everything has to look good, because if it doesn't look good, people are going to turn you off.
Yeah.
And again, that's not a knock if you don't have the equipment. You can still make things look good without having the proper equipment. You just got to know what you're doing. And one of the examples I give that used to drive me absolutely crazy back in the day was people would, well, even now people I guess still do, but I don't see it as much because I'm further down the road. But people buy these really, really, really nice cameras and not know how to use them. Doesn't matter. You can use, like, my DSLR, my T3i, we use a Canon T3i, is from 2008, 7, 8, I don't know, from one of those years. And it's an old camera. Would it be nice to get a new one? Yes. Do I need a new one? No, because I know that camera inside out. I know what its flaws are. I know what its strong points are. I know how to use it. So what I would tell you is get a piece of equipment that you want to make your own and own it. You could use a friggin' phone. Like, the cameras on the phones are amazing.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually, is that phones nowadays, I mean, you can record in 4K.
Yep.
So you have a 4K camera in your
The
pocket.
hardest part for a phone is audio. There's a headphone jack. Get a lapel mic.
Yeah.
You're done. They make them. Like, so it's really, really not that.
Going back to our shout-outs, that's largely what a lot of what the Dream Saga do, actually, is use their phone for most everything, and the quality there is
And he
is
edits
good.
on an iPad.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind as an editor.
Yeah.
Because also, editing equipment. You don't need the latest software. I use Final Cut Pro because I've worked up to it. I started out. Here's a little Keegan editing history. I started out in Movie Maker like a lot of people. Movie Maker is a piece of shit software in my opinion, but it taught me the basics of editing. It didn't give me all the shit. Didn't give me all the bells and whistles that I necessarily wanted, but it also made me become more creative with editing and figure out how I wanted to do it. From Movie Maker, I then switched to Mac, so I went to iMovie, which if you have a Mac, go iMovie. Like, learn iMovie, love iMovie, because it will make your life a whole hell of a lot easier. And it's free. And then from there, you either go up to Premiere, Final Cut, or Avid. I don't recommend Avid for anybody who's interested. Vegas is the other one on PC. I've not used it, so I can't talk about it personally, but I've used Premiere and Final Cut. Both great softwares, both different platform bases. Obviously, Premiere is both PC and Mac. Final Cut's only Mac because Apple makes it. But you
the
don't...
nice part about starting an iMovie and then going to Final Cut is that Final Cut recognizes iMovie projects as well.
The other
So
thing...
it's an easy transition.
Yes. The other thing, again, it's getting kind of back to the camera of you learn how to edit versus I have this editor. What the hell do I do? Like, there's basics of editing. And again, I keep saying I'm gonna make these videos, but I never do. Of like, when do I use a jump cut? When do I use a cross dissolve? How do I time this out? How do I time that out? And it's something you learn as you go along. I have taken no formal training in video editing. I'm all self-taught, minus when I worked for a few companies where I guess it's like an apprenticeship where this guy, John Rafferty, taught me. Like, I remember John Rafferty showed me, I literally went from Movie Maker to iMovie to Final Cut 7, which if you've ever used Final Cut 7, looks like a dinosaur now, in a matter of like 2 years. And if I didn't have John showing me that, I would have been completely lost. And I was like, what is this? Track-based editing? This is a thing? I was like, there's not, like, I can go up and down. I can have like 20 tracks. Sweet. Like, that kind of stuff is so cool. But the point of this is you don't need that.
Yeah.
Learn what you have, use what you have, do with what you have, and work your way up from there.
So the other side note that we wanted to go into a little bit alongside that, as far as being a small YouTuber,
You like my tangents?
No, I like it. I'm just we're talking. I mean, I guess the conversation that we had earlier, I wanted to sort of rehash a little bit for people to listen into, because these are the things that me and Keegan talk about when we're not playing games and attacking each other. But the idea that YouTube as a platform is moving very
rapidly, like any piece of technology,
very rapidly. And we all know, anyone in YouTube land knows that YouTube's been messing with the algorithm left, right, and center.
They've been doing that for years. It just I think it's becoming so.
It's becoming more obvious.
My little note on that is I think it's because it's affecting right now the biggest section, which is gaming, because there are by far more gaming channels than anything else, and I think that's why it's becoming more noticeable. But I use the example I said a few years ago: animation kind of lost its way because of the watch time. Well, if you put X amount of money into making an animation 30 seconds and you only watch it for 30 seconds, they're not going to repeat that animation, versus you watch gameplay for 30 minutes. That's clearly going to win if that is how the algorithm works. I keep punching my pop filter.
Okay, you'll get
bam, bam.
You'll be a professional one day.
Yeah, at some point.
But that being said, with YouTube moving forward, we were talking about the prevalence of streaming.
Yes.
And how streaming seems to have a stranglehold.
I mean, look at all the shout-outs we just did. How many of those people switched to streaming?
Right. And streaming is something that's obviously this generation. I'm like a fucking old man. This generation of people grew up with FaceTime Live, with Twitch, with
Ustream was one of the first ones that did it,
with watching things happen live. Like when some big news event happens now, do you go to CNN or do you go to YouTube Live
do you go to
see
CNN?
if someone is streaming it?
Do you go to CNN?
No, I go to YouTube and I go to the live section and then I watch it because I want to be in the middle of a protest that's happening.
Or you go to I go to Twitter and find from there.
Right, exactly. I mean, side note, media is a bunch of shit nowadays. At this point, between actual mainstream media and fake media that you get from Facebook and things like that, the truth is almost impossible to distinguish. I think at this point, you cannot trust any news station as much as you used to be able to trust them, because they are on this cycle of perpetuating bullshit, and they're on this cycle of perpetuating stories that are it's clickbait. It's one big fucking 24-hour news clickbait channel. All of them. Not just saying I have no preference. It could be Fox, NBC, CNN, doesn't matter. They're all bullshit. About the only one I still trust is a BBC, and that's not because I'm English. It's because literally when you watch BBC News, they go,
big black
this
clock.
thing happened. Here's all the things that happened. That's the news.
But even
they don't spin it. They don't say this happened and that means this and then possibly this and then we don't know about this yet. They just say 7 people got blown up in a bomb in Saudi Arabia at a nightclub. There you go. That's news. And so that being said, the kids don't believe it, and they grew up in an era where now they've been proven to be right not believing it, because you have, not to go on a political rant, but you have this whole Donald Trump presidency thing, the whole fake news thing being a big thing during that campaign, and you have a generation.
It's on both sides. It's not just
absolutely
it's everywhere. Like
either side of the political spectrum doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, liberals and conservatives are just as fucking guilty when it comes to sharing shit that is not real. There's you know, it's just inherent now. And a lot of it is, let's be honest, the older generation fucking that up. My generation and older, that are just like, they'll read a headline and then they'll share it and then they'll be like,
and then the
okay.
links, like, granted, they're getting better with their links because, like, cn.cbsnews dash
They should just build Snopes
OH.com.
into old people's computers, and so it instantly says this is fake or not. But the kids are smarter than that, and the kids are creating the content and they're making the news. So when you hear about a protest after, you know, someone that people don't like gets elected president, you're not going to go to one of those news sites. You're going to go to YouTube and you're going to watch someone that's at that protest filming things live, unedited and raw, because that is actual news. That's the truth.
And you're also theoretically not getting that person's opinion because you're able to make your own judgment, which I think is what you're
Exactly.
getting,
And
make
they
the point
may
you're making.
yell at the camera like, oh no, we have 50,000 hits or whatever. But
They're
like,
allowed to have their point of view.
right, and that's totally fine. But the point being that streaming media in general, we were discussing, seems to be taking over.
Yeah, I mean,
As opposed to a video-based.
So one of the things I told you earlier is I haven't had cable now for 5-ish years.
Same here.
I stream everything, either Netflix, YouTube. Even now I got Hulu back so I can watch Bob's Burgers and Family Guy. I didn't have it for the longest time. But even like I watch streams, I think, more than I watch anything else. And that's because it's engaging. That's because I can talk to the person in real time. I think it's one of those things where we've talked about it. We're the instant gratification generation. What is more instant gratification than being in a stream talking to this person somewhere else? And it's really weird because from our perspective, from YouTube perspective, when I talk to another YouTuber on the other side of the world, when I talk to Jamie in the Netherlands, like, that is bananas that can happen and that we can talk real time to somebody around the world and not have to wait for a damn letter to show up.
People that are in, was it Iraq?
Iraq.
That watch our
Baghdad.
streams?
Yeah. Like, to me, that's crazy. And to get to the point you're making is, I feel like the streaming's taking over for two reasons. One, because people want to feel like they're part of something, and if something's actively going on, they feel more a part of it than they've watched it after the fact. So, like, here's a prime example is, say, are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Yeah, to an extent.
Okay, so Game of Thrones. A lot of people are Game of Thrones fan. I don't watch it, but I'm going to use that as an example. The night Game of Thrones comes on, people are watching it. The next day, there's spoilers. Say you've recorded it and haven't watched it yet. You feel out of the loop because you don't know what happened, and you got to wait to watch it to then come back and talk to those people. But those people have already gone on.
Right.
So it's like, that's why the live and on-demand stuff.
Speed.
Yeah.
Speed of content delivery.
Yes. That's why the live stuff is so important, because it's right then. You're part of the moment. You're there for posterity's sake.
You know, the other thing that it makes me think of as well is, in general, some of the social media platforms like Twitter and things like that. Like, Twitter is very much a now thing. It's like Facebook always feels like, you know, people will throw up their opinions or share whatever.
Put song lyrics.
Twitter is...
That's me.
Yeah. Twitter is like right now. It's like it is a live stream of consciousness, essentially, of multiple consciousnesses. And, you know, when you have this connectedness to artists and to performers and to people over this format, which was previously unheard of. Like, previously, if you wanted to know what Justin Timberlake thought about his breakfast that day, you were not going to find out unless Team 17 did an interview with him and said, hey, Justin, what'd you have for breakfast today, man? Did you like it?
And it's more I think it also comes down to it's more personable. It feels more personable. Obviously, when you get bigger, it becomes less and less personal, just because sheer volume and numbers games. Like Markiplier, who has, I think, 15 million or something crazy. I mean, PewDiePie just hit 50 million subscribers. He can't talk to all those people. It's physically impossible for him. If every one of his subscribers wrote a comment on his channel, it's physically impossible for him to respond to all those within a decent time. But when he does respond to that one person, it's like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's two things. One, it's a celebrity thing. Two, it's the personal connection you have. You know that person's responding versus through an interview, through a third party saying it, which I used to be part of that third party. I did a lot of music interviews, and granted, you're getting it from the person, but you also, when you're interviewing somebody, you're going for a story. You're looking for something interesting, and you will steer the conversation where you want it to go. Versus, like, nobody's going to censor PewDiePie, but PewDiePie, he can say he's his own boss, and he can say whatever the hell he wants, good, bad, or indifferent.
And this is also, to make it generational again, it's also the generation of essentially the idea that anyone can be famous. Which is, I mean, let's be honest, it's why we do it. I mean, not why we do it, but like it's one of the reasons for us to continue with this channel in the way that we do, is that we want to provide entertainment content that then in turn pays our bills.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily that we want fame and adoration. It's just that it is something that is a byproduct of being popular.
Our driving force, at least I'll speak for me personally, my driving force behind the channel, the starting driving force was because editing. I've said it before, I wanted to edit something back in the day. The second thing is it's fun.
Yeah.
The third thing, if we get famous, we get money, pay the bills, like that's a goal, but it's also not 100% why we do it.
It's not at all. But it is one of those things about being your own boss, which
Yes.
I think we're a generation of people that
Don't want to do that.
don't want to do that. There's the millennials in general are a generation of entrepreneurs. They're
We
a
want to make an
generation of
impact.
people
We
that
want to do
be-
something.
and times have changed so much from the days where, you know, there's a lot of threads about this type of thing on Reddit where they talk about, you know, your parents would tell you, oh, you got to knock on doors, sonny, you got to hand out your resume and you got to call the guy.
My
3
mom,
weeks
so in high
later,
school, my
and,
mom
you
was
know.
like, you got to go down there. I was like, why?
Yeah, you have to follow up with them, and like the kids are sat there saying that doesn't fucking
Yeah.
work anymore, guys. Like that's not how the job market works now. If anything, me consistently badgering this guy about this role is probably going to not net me
yes.
the job, because they're going to be like, this guy is fucking annoying. So it's kind of it's interesting, the difference in even normal everyday behavior, like getting a job, compared to, you know,
And-
what you want to do with your life. And I think that all of us can agree that time is short, and even though we both, you know, do not dislike our jobs by any means, we both kind of like our job, and but there's nothing more satisfying than being your own boss.
So there's two quotes I'm going to quote. One is actually the background on my phone right now, because I'm very much an inspirational quote guy. Dreams don't work unless you do. So unless you put the work in, you're not going to be
I
successful.
have one as well. I'm gonna
The second one is build your own dream, or you're going to help somebody else build theirs.
yeah,
Which is true. I mean,
great one.
if you're not doing what you want to do, and if you're at least not attempting to get to where you want to go, you're going to help somebody else do what they want to do.
So this is a good one you'll like, because this is my friend. His name is Hugh. He's
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Davis.
Hugh Grant.
I'll say his name. He was my best friend growing up, and he has been a solid. You know, you have those friends that just like, you could like not talk to them for 5 years, and then the second you get back together, it's like no time passed whatsoever. He's that friend for me. So Hugh is an inspiration. He's an inspirational person. Has gotten more inspirational as time has gone on, and he decided that he wanted to try and help people become financially free by 40. So he has a blog called Financially Free by
which sounds
40.
like a gimmick, but
No, that's the thing though. It's because he's of a generation where he's like, he did the knocking on doors part, but now he's like, you know what? I want to be able to retire at 40 and enjoy the rest of my life. And to me, what a fucking awesome goal to try and be able to actually like, you know, drop out and live your life from 40 on. Whereas, you know, you have Americans that are working
65,
through into, like,
70, 80.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're working multiple jobs well into old age just to survive. And so he has this blog called Financially Free by 40, which is him basically giving you tips and showing you receipts and kind of like how he's doing it, the type of business that he created. And he posted this quote, and I will say he's a very inspirational person. So take this or leave it. But it just says, I just read an amazing quote from Stephen Hawking on complaining, and I had to share it. I'd like to think that I don't complain too much, but I'm partial to it every now and then. But when you read this, you're reminded that it's not only pointless to complain, but it can be quite damaging. So here are the two quotes. You ready? When you complain, nobody wants to help you.
It's true.
If you spend more time focusing on things that are wrong, and that's what you express and project to people you know, you don't become a source of growth for people. You become a source of destruction for people that draws more destructiveness.
I agree with that. I mean,
that cool?
there's been moments in my life where I'm that person.
Yeah.
I focus on what's...
And that is, because I read that, and I know what kind of a guy he is, and I read that, and I was like, God damn you asshole. Like, now he makes me feel like a prick for complaining about everything, but I'm just like, but no, he's absolutely right, and that there are people in life that will try and create something like this, small YouTubers, or they're a dime a dozen.
They want the self-pity.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, oh, no one's watching my show after 2 months of making one. And we're here 2 years in almost. Yeah. We have been hovering around 770 subscribers for the better part of like 6 months. And we're not complaining.
Yes.
I think is the important.
I'm not going to name who this guy is because obvious reasons, but I'm going to tell a little story here. As you know, I hang around the YouTube community quite a bit in different groups, whatever it may be. I would say I'm way more inside the smaller YouTube community than you are.
Yeah.
And there's this guy that was part of a group I was in that used his bipolar and used his depression as a way to get views and subscribers. As you know, and you may be finding out for the first time, I have bipolar disorder.
And he's colorblind.
And I'm colorblind. I'm just fucked up. But I don't use that. Right. Like that's the thing is like I don't want the pity. Treat me as any other human being. I don't want to use it as a selling point. Yes, it sucks when I get down and it brings shit down, but at the same time, I don't want to be like, oh, woe is me. My mom used to say I played the woe is me card a lot growing up, which I did. But the woe is me, like, why are people not watching me? Well, I play that, and let's be honest, it's natural to think, why is shit not growing? Like, for us, like you said, it's been about 6 months where it's kind of been lot less growth than we've had. And it's like, what's going on? And it's okay to question it and to kind of come up with solutions and whatever it may be.
Which is what we've been trying to do.
But don't complain to try and get views, try and get subscribers, because that's not the right way to do it.
And these are the same people that are typically doing sub for sub and all that kind of shit, and they're like, hey, I really like your video, that one part about that thing that you said was great,
those damn
come
comments.
by and check my video. Yeah, everyone's had those, right?
Pretty much.
So
everybody.
I mean, and the last ever couch conversation that we did, the official couch conversation, the one that's still a podcast, you can still check it.
You are the greatest thing on this earth. You can do whatever. You can go to the fucking moon if you want to. That one
was
I just peaked the audio, sorry.
Was a lot of fun to do, but also it had so much elements of truth in it compared to even now where we're at. We're still in the same boat. We're like, that was recorded a long time ago. We've changed a lot. We've switched up the channel a lot. We're same people.
That's what, 3 or 4 months ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
It was a while ago.
Jeez.
And we've been holding steady with our new format. We're thinking of switching it up a little bit.
But we're not doing a drastic change.
Not drastic, just a slight tweak that we think everyone will enjoy.
You said it beautifully earlier, and I think you said it off camera, but evolution is the key. Like, you got to know when things aren't working. You got to know when things are working. And not that everything's based on numbers, but, again, with the reviews as the example, the time versus the return was not worth it. Versus a Let's Play, the time versus return is a lot better, and that's just a business thing.
And being able to recognize that and submit to it.
And as long as it's still something you enjoy, that's the other thing. Because I wouldn't come to you and be like, we need to do Let's Plays again if you hated them. Like, if you're like, no, they're fucking garbage, I'd be like, okay, cool, we're not going to do it then. But as long as you enjoy it, that's the other thing. You get asked all the time from people, because some of the groups are in, and this is going to sound really narcissistic, and I don't want it to, but our channel looks fairly large to people, because for a small YouTube, like, there's people that under 100, they look at us and like, how the hell did you get over 700? And it's all perspective. I used to do the same thing, like, how the fuck did you get to 1,000? Like, that's crazy. But people ask you all the time, like, how did you get there? And I go, I enjoyed the ride. It was bumpy at times, but I enjoyed the ride. I did it for fun. Like, if you're in it for the wrong reasons, you're not going to be successful, period.
You're going to be disappointed.
You're going to be that person that flames out. You're going to be that person like, oh, I'm only making 20 cents. By the way, YouTube does not pay shit. We can't say how much we make because terms of service, but let's just say YouTube does not give us any sort of money at all. We haven't been paid yet.
We have been doing this for 2 years and we are yet to receive a paycheck.
So, give you an idea there. So, YouTube, again, we can't talk specifics because let's
just say when it comes, it's going to get framed and put on the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
First dollar.
But if you're in it for the money, you're in for, because let's be honest, it's a pipe dream. Like you said, it's that famous, you see the Markipliers, you see the Jacksepticeye's, you see the PewDiePies that are making $2, $3, $4, $8 million a year, and you're like, why can't I do that? Well, guess what? They're the 1%.
Yeah.
Like, less than the 1%.
They jumped
if you
in
hit
at just the right time, with just the right quality and just the
they got
right
lucky.
Niche.
Got lucky. That's the other thing, because everything, let's be honest, If you wanted to go find other podcasts and other channels like ours, I'm sure you could find something very similar. They got to get lucky to get to the growth, and it's fighting through that initial downside to get to the other side of the ramp is the hardest part, but it's also the most worth it. And I think, I look at Jacksepticeye. Here's a prime example. He's the fastest growing YouTuber right now. As of recording this, he just passed, I think, 15 or 16, I don't know, 14 million, I don't know, something crazy. But he's gaining more subscribers.
I think there's a certain point where it just snowballs effortlessly, isn't
but
it?
do you know how he got his start? I think I've asked you this before.
You said he used to live in a log cabin. I remember that for some reason.
No. Well, yeah. But so a lot of people say he got big because PewDiePie did a shout-out series and he won it. Well, that's cool. PewDiePie did that shout-out series and it did help him. It gave him a spike, but it's up to Jack to keep those people coming back.
True.
And that's the hardest part, is getting people to come back.
Yeah. And that's really the crux of it all, is that if you do this with the intention that giving it, even if you give it 100%, even if you give it everything you have, that you are going to get this instant return. And we talk about like the instant gratification generation. This is
you've told me many times you need to be patient, because I'm very impatient. I'm like, why is this not working? Why is this not doing? And I feel like I've mellowed out a little bit.
You've done surprisingly well. Yeah.
I still
and when Keegan talks about having bipolar disorder and things like that, by the way, he's not over exaggerating. It is a real thing.
I have a clinical disorder.
We've dealt with it for 2 years of him having moments of insane hyperactivity and then moments of insane depression.
There was one a few months ago now that I remember. I can't remember what we were talking about. Oh, I think it's when we were talking about changing the content, and I told you, I was like, this is my idea, which sometimes is great because they're like, oh, fuck, you got out of left field, pull this in. And you're like, talk to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, let this calm down. Are you overreacting? Like, because it happens. And not to make this about me, but with something like bipolar, you don't know what's happening in the moment until somebody kind of says, hey.
Sometimes things have to simmer, and it's a really hard thing to learn. So I did this with my wife as well recently, because I'm terrible at it as well, equally guilty. But my wife wanted to start. For those of you, no one listening to this knows what I'm talking about, but there's a company called LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe is a really interesting
little
company.
Lulu.
And what they do is they have these clothes that they do limited edition runs of. They have like different styles that they name after names. So like this, they have a series of dresses called like the Casey or whatever, or the Cassie or whatever. And like they'll have like, oh, this is the Jennifer, and you know.
So people just name them after themselves.
Right. So they name these styles after women's names. And then they make special printed patterns that have a limited run of, let's say, 200. So, and they're famous for their leggings, but they do other things as well. So let's say they make these leggings that have a very, popular pattern on them. Only 200 of those will ever exist ever. They never sell them in a store. So you have LuLaRoe consultants that do basically live shopping shows, like QVC style, over Facebook. It's all done over Facebook Live.
I mean, let's be honest, television's going away.
Right.
Because of this.
And what they do is they buy these boxes of clothes that are essentially a mystery box, and then they'll open the box live and be like, here we have this item, and it's going to be this much money, and then they have a list of people that would, like, in the comments that are just like, boom, I want that, boom, I want that, and they'll sell it all. And this is a company that, to get a starting stake in that company, you have to invest around $6,000 to $10,000, right? So that gets you your first bunch of boxes, and then of course you make your profit, you buy more boxes, and you keep making profit. People that do it well do it amazingly well. And so my wife, she's a big fan of the clothes, wanted to sell them. $6,000 to $10,000 is a lot of money.
Yes.
Right?
Wait, you just don't have that line around?
Right. And here's the thing, like, there is a point where we're doing okay. Me and my wife are doing okay, savings wise, we're doing all right. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that we could scrape that together, start a business, which again, we'd be our own bosses, and do that. However, to me, it seemed like a rush judgment to spend that much money on something that she may or may not keep up with. She's done this before. She has done several of these kind of other companies.
False starts.
Not false starts, just kind of like companies that she really believes in, and she puts so much time and effort into it. But the problem is that there's just no return there. It's like, you have to have this kind of prolific amount of networking.
I'm about to
get
business
anywhere
you.
with
It's
it.
called ROI, return on investment.
That, yeah.
Time and money put in versus what you get back.
Correct.
And that's true. Outside of
And it's
business,
hard
that's
for
true.
these
That's true
types
for
of
life as
companies
well.
to survive. But and there are plenty of people that make a living out of this
Oh
sort
yeah,
of thing.
it's like Mary Kay.
Exactly.
People are amazing at that.
Right.
But again, you see that 1% that are way up here, and there's
Because they have the time
99% down
dedicated.
here.
I know someone that works at Mary Kay that did so well they got a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Out of it, which is kind of the I guess the highest honor for
Yeah.
a Mary Kay consultant.
That's
It's
crazy.
Pink Cadillac that they only make for Mary Kay consultants. So anyway, so I said to her, this was around November 1st-ish that she said this. I said, come back
to me
to me
next
on
year.
December 1st. Come back to me on December 1st and tell me if you still want to do it. If you still want to do it, we'll do it. Right? Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And December 1st came and went. And it was getting closer to the holidays. And I was like, she hasn't brought it up. So clearly it's not been on the forefront of her mind. She's not been gagging for December 1st to be like, okay, let's do it. So I brought it up with her the other day and I said, so, the LuLaRoe thing, do you still want to do that? And she said, I don't think I have time. That was $6,000 to $10,000 that we narrowly avoided putting into something that she now realizes that she probably doesn't have time to do without quitting a full-time job
Yes.
anyway, and without me potentially quitting my
Yes.
job as well. So again, it's one of those things that sometimes, even though an idea can seem great or momentum can seem great or you can feel like everything's going really, really well, there will be times when you need to just chill, just simmer, think about it, redirect yourself, evolve, and have fun while you do it. And that's kind of the hard part.
So that reminded me of something else
Stand up.
that is very.
I'm sorry for the camera here. I got to readjust.
This is gonna be sexy looking.
Belt going into the old waistline there. We're starting to get a little achy.
This is the second podcast in a row. I'm sorry.
I feel like trash too.
Ugh,
But it reminded me.
fucking
It
hell.
reminded me of. So again, I'm in these communities a lot of times with smaller YouTubers. I'm in people who I have a full time job. I do this. I do that. And I was like, cool. So do I. Like, you're not again trying to make yourself the pity card, I guess, or make yourself feel special. We both have full time jobs.
Uh-huh.
We made a dedication that Tuesday is our recording day. Like, we're gonna record on
That's why
Tuesday.
we're fucking doing this, because trust me, if we weren't, then
I would be home.
I would be in bed.
Yes, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we both feel like hot trash.
And we still, and this is podcast number 2.
Yeah.
It's now again, curtain pulled. It's 4 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. We probably have to get things tied up some point around 5 o'clock ish.
Yeah.
And we still have to
A
do
lot
all of
to
our
do.
VR and our Let's
Let's Play.
Plays and edit all of the content from today.
Yep. So that's fun.
So
But anyways, what I was gonna say is I've had a lot of people that come in and they say they don't have time. And my response every time, and people hate this response, is you will make time if you want to do it. My mom used to say it to me, if it's worth your time, you will make time.
Yeah.
If you want to get fit, you will make time to exercise. If you want to eat healthy, you will make time to cook meals. If you want to do anything in your life, you will make time to do it. If it's not that important to you that you won't make time,
you won't do it.
then you won't do it. And I use the example of, granted, I don't have as many responsibilities because I'm a single male in my 20s. I live alone.
Single white male.
Yeah, I don't have any responsibilities outside of paying bills, so going to work. That's my only true responsibility I have is working.
I have a little more. Not a lot
Yes,
more, but a little bit
but
more.
you have a wife, you have dogs. It does add onto
Nice.
it, and I think it comes into for me, it's I'll stay up till 3 a.m. editing a video, making sure it gets done. I will do those things that go the extra mile. Does it suck the next day? Yes. Do I want to do that every night? No. Do I do it because I believe in this thing and I wanted to take off and I wanted to do something and I want to make that impact? Yes, that's why I do it. And if you come to me and you're like, well, I work 40 hours a week, and I get it. If you have kids, it's a different story. I can but to the same extent, you will make it work.
There's ways around it.
Yes, and I think too many times, and this is true for anything in life, people complain too much about not having time. And I was just like, make it.
Time's all you got.
Yeah. There's
What else you gonna do?
there's 24 hours in a day. Figure out how you want to divvy that up. Yes, you got probably priority number 1 is get a job, pay the bills.
I'm sure sleep's in there somewhere.
Well, yeah. Well, not for
24
me.
hours a day. Some
Yeah,
of
but
that
there's
is
24 hours a
obviously-
day. So the rule is with I guess divide your day up into thirds. So you have 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, 8 hours you time. How do you spend your you time?
Yeah. And usually the you time is divided into maybe 4 hours before work or 4 hours after work. So it's
or
hard.
in your case, 4 hours with your wife or
Right.
whatever it may be. So
Yeah.
they get that you time gets divided up quickly.
This is why Keegan is the one that's usually doing streams in the middle of the week, because
Yes.
I have a wife, and wife
and I
does
don't have a
not-
life.
and wife would not like me to be in the basement every night of the week. But that being said, there was a quote from a musician that I like. I say musician, a rapper that I like. His name is Slug.
His name's Snoop Dogg.
You guys might be familiar.
It's
with
like,
it.
yo, bro, smoke that weed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's in a group called Atmosphere, and he had a documentary out when I was younger. It was very inspiring to me. And one of the things he said was, if you really want to make it in any business, whether it's rapping or music or anything, you will go without sleep. You will go without food. You will go without cigarettes. You will go without whatever you have to go without, and give it 100% of your dedication if you absolutely have to make it in that world. Now, there are things that we compromise in terms of the fact that we do have jobs, because we also have to live. And obviously going without food, you're going to die eventually.
Yes.
But the idea is that if you push it hard enough, and there are those days that you can, I think it was more metaphorical. There are those
I don't know.
days
There have
where-
been days where, like, instead of going and getting fast food, I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich.
Right.
Like, peanut butter sandwich is your best friend if you're broke. When I went to Indie PopCon, kind of to go off of that, when I went to Indie PopCon, going to conventions is expensive. Period. I got lucky enough that my parents covered my hotel room for my birthday. That was fantastic. I love my parents for doing that. Not everybody's parents would do that. But while you're there, you still have to pay for gas. You still got to pay for all this and all the bills that are back home. And I said on a previous podcast, I have made the poor decision of racking up a bunch of debt. So, like, I have that.
As
I got to
have
figure out.
most people in the world, but yes.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those things of, like, you make sacrifices to do what you want to do. I told you last year when I got back from Mini PopCon, I'm going back again no matter what I have to do. I've set aside money as soon as I got back to go to for this year. Like, I'm bound and determined to go back. Does that mean I can't go eat out one night a week? Yeah. Does it really matter? Because I'd rather go to Indie PopCon? Yes. My mom, I think, another sacrifice that I made, and again, I feel like this another sacrifice I made. I was supposed to go to Florida in February with my parents, and last year I didn't go either because I didn't have the vacation time. This year I could go for half a week, but it didn't quite work out. And I explained to my mom, she's like, "Oh, so you don't want to see us?" And I was like, "That's not it. I feel like going to Indie PopCon, going to Wizard World, going to these cons could have a potential huge impact on the channel as a whole when it comes to marketing, when it comes to advertising, when it comes to getting your name out there, that I think it's not that my family's not valuable to me, but I've gone to Florida hundreds of times, and well, not hundreds, but we used to go every year. So quarter of hundreds.
So you're giving up family time in order to do
Yes,
something
and
that
it sucks
would help
because
with channel growth.
My mom obviously, like,
And you're a very tight-knit family.
yes, my mom understands it. She doesn't like that answer necessarily,
Oh, she's a
but
mom. Not expected to.
but she also, one of the things that blew me away was she supported us with PSVR.
Yeah.
Like, she supports me in what I do. She also wants me to be an adult at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on that one still. But she supports me in what I do. She understands why I do it. It's not like I don't want to hang with you. I just believe in this thing so much. And I've said this from day one with this podcast and video and whatever the hell you want to call us now with you, this channel. That's the word I was looking for. My brain is just... the last time I had the spark like I do now was when I did my music stuff. Even the Cartoon Network stuff. Those of you who don't know, I had a cartoon in production in Cartoon Network. Like, that was the spark, but that just kind of fell in my lap. Like, that just kind of happened. Like, I worked hard on it, yes, but it was like a side project that, like, you know, let's try this, and it ended up working. Like, holy shit. Versus YouTube the first time around when I did it, it was... I knew I had something because as soon as I uploaded videos, like, my first 3 videos got over 5,000 views.
Wow.
Like, that's unheard of. Now, looking back, like, to me, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, keep going. Obviously, I had connections with artists and all that, so they helped push it. But at the same time, it's
harder, I think, for us, because when you were doing your previous stuff, it did involve a lot of people that already had a built-in fan base.
Yep.
Which those fans would be
I mean,
rabid for content involving
one of the best things I did for my channel was a giveaway of a Goo Goo Dolls signed album. Their album, can't remember the name of it, had just come out, and I knew those guys, and I said, hey, can I get a copy? Can I get it signed to give away on my channel? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, by the way, like as part of the deal, can you just retweet this once? Like that's it. I just want you to retweet it once. Here's what I want to say. As long as you guys approve it, cool. They did. Well, guess how many entries I got? So my channel at the time, when I went out, I want to say my channel was probably 700 to 1,000 people, roughly. After that giveaway, my channel went from 700 to 1,000 to 12,000 people.
Wow. Because
of that giveaway, because the Goo Goo Dolls built-in fan base, because of that that spark there, that shout out. Granted, all those people didn't stay because I wanted the free CD, but I kept a retention rate of like my obviously views went up and all that. And then whenever I did music, still, I guess it's not that different, but you obviously have your different niches when it comes to genres. So people would watch. Some people who come for the Goo Goo Dolls are not going to listen to August Burns Red.
Right.
And so you kind of figure out who was going where. But at the same time, that's the moment where I knew my channel was kind of going, where I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's a weird feeling. It's a great ride. I hope we can do it on level 2 at some point.
I think I feel like it would be more satisfying to do it with this channel.
Just because it's taken so long. I mean, this is...
Not just because it's taken so long, but because we don't have that.
Yes.
It's just me and you.
Yeah.
And games.
Well, that's it. So, again...
So if we can get to that point where we ever had a video take off without the help of the Goo Goo Dolls, for example, then I think it would be more satisfying because it would feel like it was something that
which is what I felt like after that moment. So I say that the moment took off because that video had hundreds of thousands of hits.
Right.
But after that, my videos went from 150, 200 views to 1,500, 2,000 views. Like I exponentially grew.
Right. You maintained it. And
it's one of those things where I got super lucky the first time around. I struck lightning in a bottle. I'm kind of mad that I didn't stick with it, but I didn't I don't say obvious reasons, but for reasons I didn't stick with it. And I want to do it again. Not that I want to do it because I have an ego, because I want to be famous. I want to do it again because of how cool it was. And this is going to sound egotistic, but like the power of we're talking about going back to what we originally talked about, the impact. When you send out a tweet to 250,000 people, you have an impact on people, whether you know it or not. Especially when you fucking just do a typo. They will let you know. I had one tweet a long time ago that had everybody respond, did you spell this word? I fucking know. I can't change it though. Sorry. Read down below. But you have an impact and you have the ability to change the world for good. And I think if level 2 ever got to the point where we could do that, I think we would do. I mean, you can do it at our size, charity stuff. Like we
do more with it. Yeah.
Yes, you'd have a greater ripple with it.
Yeah, it's not that we can't do that stuff now, and we have tried to do that in bits and pieces. But I think that the bigger you get as a channel, the more people you touch, and the easier it is. Like we did, like last week's podcast was about accessibility in gaming and being colorblind or what have you in gaming. That's the type of thing that doesn't get discussed an awful lot, and that's the type of thing that we would focus on. We also have our own opinions obviously about prejudices and things like that. Those are the types of things we focus on. They're important to us in St. Louis to talk about that type of thing, talking about St. Louis in general. St. Louis is one of the most underrated towns and cities in the entire of America, and
that's why I love Markiplier. So one thing, say what you want about Markiplier as the character Markiplier, he has made an impact. He understands the scope of what he has, and he has these videos every so often where he's like, do this. Don't do it because I'm telling you to do it. Do it because it's right. And he went to Congress for something. I think it was when what was the internet, when they were trying to block the internet. Oh, what's it called?
Net neutrality.
Yeah. So he got called to Congress to talk about it, and he took it very like he's this goofy dude that just cusses on there and yells all the time to the computer, but he took that extremely seriously because he knew the power he had to influence a decision. And he's like, look, I can tell you what this would do to me personally, because I can't talk about other things, but to me personally and to this generation, what would happen if this happened? And he was very vocal about it, and I
good on him.
Yes, there's a lot of people
that should do that. Undone in the next 4 years, but other than that,
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. But
All right. So that's our thoughts on being a small channel and sort of YouTube's future, the millennials and kind of the idea that streaming is now taking over priority, and kind of just a collection of thoughts.
I'm glad you can wrap all this up because I don't even know what the hell we talked about.
Yeah, it
My
was a
brain
lot of
is gone.
YouTube-based things. And here's the thing we always say is that our channel is almost like a meta channel, because it's not just a channel about video games, it's a channel about being a small YouTube channel and trying to get bigger, and that's a big part of what we do, and we share that with you. It's not like we are crying behind the scenes every time we're done. We're not like,
Why didn't Bobby like our video?
Right, exactly. We adapt. We talk, we have meetings, we change, and hopefully it's usually for the better, and at some point it will, as you
And if we
say,
screw up,
catch
we go
fire.
back. I mean, not that switching to reviews was a screw up, but we realized getting rid of Let's Plays was not the smartest decision. So we are not afraid to say we were wrong as
No,
well.
not at all.
So
Completely open.
I guess the takeaway from that would be a couple things. One, don't be afraid to try something new, especially when you're small. You have the biggest advantage to do it when you're small. You can change as much shit as you want and see what hits.
People are going to be a lot more mad about it if you're a big channel. And you
There's
start fucking
one of my
around.
buddies, another YouTuber shout out, Rewind Mike. I've been friends with him for about a year, and his channel was all right. He was doing Let's Plays of different things. He just did what was called the Konami years, where he went back and talked about Konami literally through the years, early to, I don't know what year he ended on. I want to say like 95, 96 ish maybe. I don't think he went to modern.
Can
day.
I say it?
What?
Fuck Konami.
Yeah. But he went out, he talked about that, and his channel has since grown, and that's now his thing, is like he's going to do it then for different companies. And this guy had been doing YouTube for 3 years, and he had, I think at the time I knew him, about 200 subscribers. He's now over 1,000.
I think part of that is the fact that a lot of people that were unaware of Kojima and kind of the impact and the story that went on between him and Konami are suddenly interested in it after things like Death Stranding and after that kind of thing. I think he just kind of that was more a zeitgeist thing that he tuned into just the right time for people to be googling the words Konami or
But it's also other things
hard
as well.
work and effort as well, obviously.
Well, I'm talking about like other topics that have taken off too. Like
Right.
that was the spark. Again, I'm talking about the Google dolls being the spark. That was kind of his spark of like, oh shit, I've got something. Let's push
This is
it.
the thing, yeah.
So
So we've got to find our spark, man.
I farted. Is that a spark? I didn't actually.
Don't think you get a much better ending than that. So that's episode, what, 13?
Something like that. 13
Yeah,
sounds about right.
13 in the can.
I am so out of it right now. I feel like absolute shit. You sound like
I
shit.
just want to die.
Yeah. I'm gonna crawl into a hole.
Yeah, so
But let's be
it's-
positive.
Yeah, it's
we
late in the
got
day.
this.
We got some
It's
recording.
early in the
to
day
do.
for them because or it might be late at night if you
I
listen
don't
to it.
fuck it. Well, they can watch it whenever, can't they? It can
Yeah.
be whatever time of day.
You know what?
I have a headache. You're giving me
Me
a headache.
too.
All right. We
Cool.
love you. Thanks for supporting Level 2. Thanks for being our legion. Please spread the word. Help us get to where we need to get to, that we can make everybody's life better with our
Stuff.
ramblings.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We love you.
Thank you guys for watching.
And as always,
Welcome to the second level.
bye.
It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.